Hello there, friends. How are you? Dr. Zhu here, and I'm so happy to be with you today. And we've been talking about colors and art and making your life more colorful and coloring your life happy and asking what are your favorite colors and finding out so much about colors. So it is so amazing that we learned that not the same colors are working the same for each of us. So we have colors, for somebody the white works, for somebody the dark blue works. And we found all the five elements and we found all the colors for all those. So colors have so many amazing vibrations to energize us. For example, here I am as an element of earth, and red is energizing me, and white is calming me, tranquilizes me, and there is in between colors which helps the balance of the moment of what I need. So colors have so many amazing energies for us, and the shades are so many different, and they are all telling us something, making us feel somehow. And we know that I was bringing you the feng shui way of the color distribution, but we know that there are warm colors and cold colors, and there are neutral colors and somewhat colors, and there are people who are working with the colors for matching your skin tone, for example. And I am here today to introduce you, my dear friend.
Hello.
And we are live now. And we are live now. Please meet my dear friend Saher, who is a certified Zentangle trainer. And we've been talking, I was a little bit talking about colors because we've been talking about colors the whole week. And there is the one of the most colorful person on earth is you, who I want to
Thank you
introduce.
for your love.
So
Thank you for
welcome,
your
Saher. Welcome. Uh, you are working in IT, but transitioned into teaching, and then have a mom's club also, and also doing something amazing, which is with colors and drawing. So could you please tell us how all this came to you, all these colorful things, how all it came to you?
Okay, so basically, like I think that like any non-artist, I would say that I was disconnected from my artistic self for a long time until I met Tony, who happens to be a mutual friend, and
Yes, we're talking about Tony Buzan
Tony
here.
Buzan,
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
rest
There.
in peace. So um, he came over to Pakistan, and we did a mind mapping session with him. He was very inspiring. That's where I met you as well. You're equally inspiring, and 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 that was, I think, the turning point in my career where I sort of reconnected with colors and reconnected with art. Um, there was there was a lifelong conditioning saying that like art is maybe for losers or people who can't do much in their life, and they turn to art, or maybe you can't make a career out of just drawing and painting. So especially in our part of the world, I think parents would freak out if they know that their child is not focusing so much on math and English and science and focusing more on art, because they feel that there won't be a career option for him in the future. So just to secure that future for the child, they would even go to the extent of like discouraging a gift that he's probably or she's probably born with.
Yes.
So that's the sad story, and that's when Tony told me that it's not just here, it's everywhere in every society. People feel that the scientists and the mathematicians are pure geniuses, whereas art and poetry is something that's for a leisurely mind or a create people who live in a creative bubble. So coming back to your question as to how I came into Zentangling is so that was one part was meeting Tony and reconnecting with colors and everything, and the other part was that when my dear dad departed, I was looking for something that would heal me more than just uh, going to work or distracting my mind and stuff like that.
Yes.
So like I was looking for a lot of new hobbies that I could take up, and this sort of just popped up as a suggestion. I think I was just skimming through Pinterest, and I saw something that attracted me, and I thought that I could draw this. At that point in time, I did not know that it's an actual art form and it's to be learned, and there's a particular process to it. I just knew that it was something that I could attempt and I could draw, and I made it. Um, Somehow, although it was inspired very much by what I had seen, it was unique to me as well. In spite of the fact that I was trying to copy it, I could not completely copy it. And that's what got me searching more about the art form, looking for books on the art form, because it wasn't something that's taught here um, technically. And I approached the founders, Rick and Maria, and I said that is there any way you can take me on or onboard me as somebody who can promote this art in Pakistan? And like they said, you have to be a CZT to do that. So that was another 5 years worth of wait because I had to travel initially to get this training, but then the pandemic hit, and then it went online, and it was a blessing. So I got certified online. That's how it happened.
This is amazing. So let's just go back a little bit because both of us learned mind mapping from Tony, and I didn't know how to draw. There's no way that I said that I can draw anything. And by mind mapping and just coloring, coloring, doing the back and forth motion, it just created in me that I want to draw another triangle, another whatever paisley shape, or a heart, or a circle, or a swirl, or something like that. And I want to color it different colors. And I remember both of us started on this journey of
Yes,
coloring the same time. And you came with the doodle art with at that time. I have never seen anything like that. And I came up with my illusions, my mind visions, which I started to draw and color. And I remember we used to exchange who colored
exchange. Yes, yes,
and we
and
used to
I think
cheer each other. Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. And
and
we are so
and
happy that we have a great
honestly,
audience.
I feel that mind mapping is to be credited for reconnecting us to, I think, our creative self.
Yes,
And Zentangle then sort of not just connects you or reconnects you with just your creative self, but yourself, because that's like your moment of peace. If you enjoy activities like that, then it's your hour of
yes,
peace, moment of
yes.
peace.
And I have here our first sessions production here with you, so our viewers will know that this was what I created with you. And believe me, how
and
this one.
and this is something that we had created together, remember?
Yes,
So
yes,
so
yes.
even though the strokes are the same, like I said,
And
it
let's show
ended up
it to our
looking like
viewers. Yes, so this is what we created. And when my husband looked at it and said, and then I created three more since then, then he says, how do you come up with this design? And I said, I didn't know this is gonna look like this. I had no
yes.
idea in the beginning. It was just an empty paper like this. And then I divided it into segments, and I used, I draw one line and another line. And I said, Saher showed me some basic patterns, and we started to learn with the breathing, and we added together. And then something like this came out. And then even I showed it to my dad and says, wow, you are a real artist. And I said, I don't know this is gonna come out on the end. So tell us about this process, because we had like an hour and a half
Yes,
talking,
yes,
right? Just easily
yes.
you showed me, do this, draw this, color this. So tell us, because that was really
So
inspiring and uplifting, really.
yes, absolutely. Because so the art is built a stroke at a time, and the main objective of building this art is to feel relaxed, focused, go into a zone, meditate if you want to meditate, breathe in, breathe out, be mindful about your surroundings, have some gratitude. So this is, an art form where the end product is not as important as the process itself. In fact, the end product is not important at all.
At all.
So so all these patterns that I sort of shared a few with you, and there's lots and lots of them. And the Zentangle community is very generous about sharing them. So if anybody wants to look up Zentangle patterns and just put that in the search box, there would be a lot of patterns that would show up, and you can pick one up that appeals to you. Maybe in this session we can try that. We'll Google something up and see, it can be the first time for both of us to draw that. So we'll do that, because the process starts from learning something, enjoying it along the way, and then ending it with whatever surprise comes to us, and accepting it as what it is, because it's not something. So these patterns don't have concrete names, they have abstract names, and that's intentionally so. So for example, there are names uh, like flux or icantu or printumps or tipple. So these are names of the patterns, but they don't mean anything. So when you're drawing them, you don't have an expectation on you, you don't have that pressure on you to
Yeah.
make it look like something.
Yes, yes. And it's very interesting because when you draw one line at a time, and I also have drawing in the Alive program, and and this is why I jumped on this so much. I wanted to learn, because when you focus on drawing one line at a time, then you are living in the now, and you're teaching yourself living in the now,
Yes,
right now, because every line represents a new now, a new beginning. And you accept it if you make a little mistake in it. So what? You have another line to draw. And then it
yes.
just be part of the art. Now, that's the most beautiful thing, is what you said. It will be part of the art. That's how it should look like.
And that's, I think, how life should be taken as well, because if we start living in the now, and if we are not too attached to the past or too worried about the future, I think things like depression and anxiety are all springing from not being in the now.
Yes.
So my daughter, she's 11, and she asked me this question, and it sort of got me thinking. She said, "Mummy, do you miss the past a lot?" And I said, "No." She said, "Are you worried about the future a lot?" I said, "No." So she was like, "Okay, but if you would have told me that you're worried about the future, I would have said you have anxiety. And if you would have told me that you miss the past a lot, I would have said you have depression." So I was like, she's right. The past and the future, one is gone and the other has not arrived yet. So the now is what is the most important. And I guess that's how life should be.
Yeah. So how did Zentangling and the art change you and your life at home? How do you see the effect of that at home?
Okay, so first and foremost, when I talk about it personally, then it it sort of builds. So the world today is, like going at a very fast pace, and at many a times you feel that pressure to match that pace and to move along and to get things done quickly and to meet deadlines. And so I'm in advertising, you already know that. So
Yes.
you have to meet deadlines, you have to race the clock, you just are like forever chasing something. So on a personal level, I started doing this first thing in the morning before starting my work on my desk. I would i would dedicate half an hour or an hour, whatever was available at that point in time, to just going into that peaceful zone and just enjoying that one stroke at a time, not be pushed about, any deadlines, any final expectation of me. No perfection required, mistakes are welcome, anything is possible, all those mind frames. So on a personal level, that was a very peaceful start to my day. And any day that starts well sort of, has half or at least all of the day
Yes.
set,
And did
right?
it help you to accomplish your task faster? And
Yes,
so
yes,
did it
it
help
did.
you to focus and get your job done faster? Because that's
Yes.
the whole effect that it
So it,
makes.
it cuts out that noise, all that noise. When you go into that zone, when you're in that moment, then you're just looking at that stroke or looking at that pattern, focusing on it. But of course, your mind is busy thinking of other things as well, subconsciously, unconsciously. So, when you end up, you don't just end up with a piece of art, you end up with many ideas, you end up with a lot of more focus, you end up with a lot more confidence. Because, like I said, for a non-artist like me, and I have a husband for an artist, you know that, right?
Yes.
So like, to come up with a piece of art that I would show him and he would say, "Oh my God, you're becoming an artist," and I would be like, "Really? You think so?"
He's threatened now.
And now I know that when the two of us sit together and I'm trying to, like, teach him something or trying a class on him or whatever, I think working with non-artists is easier than working with artists because they are looking for perfection.
Yes.
So they have to unlearn a lot than, I think, people like us. They have
Yes,
to
yes, it's
unlearn,
easier for us.
yeah, they have to unlearn, the lights and the shadows and the perspectives and the angles, because we're not focusing on that. We don't care if the shadow falls this way or that way. We don't know. It's okay. We're just doing what we like.
Yeah. How do you see the life of your clients change by drawing with you, coloring with you, doing Zentangling with you?
Okay, this um, one lady, she's an old lady, and her daughter approached me. So she has two daughters, and both of them are settled abroad. They're married, and this lady lives by herself. And their daughter approached me. So I don't have clients yet. You know that I am only starting out. So they were one of the daughters approached me, and she asked me if I could do this for their mom, who was alone at home and going into depression, and wanted to maybe, like, just have an hour. And I said that, if she's okay with doing it on weekends, because that's the only time that's available to me, then I would happily do it. And that's when I did it, and I felt that difference in her face from when she started to when we ended the class, how happy she was. I think the daughter called me up later and she said, "I've been listening for an hour on what she did, how good you are, how happy she is." And that's the, I think, the difference that it can make. And
Yeah.
any art, even if you're like drawing simple shapes, like you said, I want to draw a triangle today or a spiral or whatever, I think art brings a certain happiness which I don't think any other discipline can help you achieve.
Yes, yes. You know, the confidence, what you said, you know, the believing in yourself and your abilities, that yes, you can do it. And if you can draw this, then there is something else what you can try and do in life. And
Yes,
it's okay if the first try wasn't so perfect, because you can do it again and again and again and keep getting better at it. And that's the
absolutely.
beauty of it, that through drawing, you know, in small little tiny bits and pieces, you learn to live life basically. And it is essential that we, out of all this noisy world, we calm down to living life one stroke at a time,
Yes.
because we don't know where is the end and we don't know what it comes out, but we only know the now. And for that is very, very amazing to have an art. And not to mention, because it's very different when you are coloring and drawing on your own. You look up a piece and it's so many information on it. I looked up Google, and then I checked so many Zentangle pieces, but they were like jumping in front of my eyes. Which one should I choose? Now here it is. Which one should I choose? They are all so nice. And now indecisiveness comes. Which part should come what? So when I was working with you, we went so nice and slowly. And you said, okay, for the next we choose this. And I accepted that. I didn't have to
Yes.
choose. I accepted that. So that is a lot when you are on your own. And when you are doing this with somebody, right, you are slowing down even more. And
Yes.
we entering into a conversation. And through the conversation, the coloring, I think that made a whole very big difference to it
Very
when I
big difference.
compare,
Yes. So
coloring.
you were the first person who insisted on using colors. You said that I have given up using black, and do you mind if I use colors? And I remember that I went quickly shopping for some colors for myself, because I used to do it in black ink, and I thoroughly enjoyed what we used. And a lot of people, because I posted this tile of mine on my social handles, and a lot of people have commented saying that they love it in color. They absolutely love the brightness, the cheeriness that colors bring to it.
So we arrived to colors. We thought we were going to talk about colors before, but now here we are. What does color mean to you now? What does color brings to your life? How do you use colors in your life?
So, like you said, I am by nature somebody who loves colors, and bright colors for that matter. Um, I answered your question on your course as well, as to what color I like. I love yellow. If I have to choose one, otherwise I'm very happy with all the colors. And um and I think now that the way mind mapping reconnected me to art, the experiment with colors, it has reconnected me to I wouldn't say reconnect, but opened a new portal, I would say, for me, of new opportunities, of being unique. So like for Zentangle art, for example, we are given a training, and all of us, like you said, get the same certification of certified Zentangle trainers when we pass out of that course. But they do insist that all of us should have something unique, which is our own style. So even for CZTs, we sort of exchange classes between ourselves. So we would learn from each other. So if somebody is good at, like, let's just say, mm, shading, then that's her strength, and we would learn shading from him or her. And if somebody is good at making geometric patterns, then they have classes for that. So I am sort of looking for a style of my own, and I think colors could just be that. And I think I would thank the universe and Dr. Zhu for letting me do it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Because I love it. And I came out from the black and white world and the black world wearing all black. And just today, someone, a very dear friend, wrote me, sent me a selfie wearing a beautiful red shirt and saying, I am wearing this today. And since I am wearing colors, oh, so many people comes to me, so many people smiles at me, so many people comes and gives me a hug, and we are all cheerful because I am wearing
Wearing
colors.
colors.
So just getting out of
True.
the black zone, it's so important. I believe that we color our lives. My home is very colorful. It's a feng shui home. It's the placements that you see, what's above me. I draw that also. Who don't know how to paint, I painted that. And So it's everything is possible for us if we just do that one stroke at a time, one line at a
Yes.
time, and it can
And
all
there is
come.
no right or wrong age for learning it. So, a lot of people think that maybe they're too old to learn something, and maybe, or maybe too young to learn something or start a new passion. I think that any day you feel like doing it, just pick up a pen or a sharpie or a pencil, give yourself a chance, and you never know what might come out.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I have one more question because I think a lot of moms may be watching this session here. That how did coloring change the studying for your children, their ability pick up information, retain information, and all that? Because I know that your son had some issues at the time of mind mapping being
Yeah.
introduced, and then he became a brilliant student because of that. So can you please tell us about that, because a lot of children are struggling in school and with all the spoon feeding, and they feel like a failure because the information is just not given to them the way they are able to digest it and take it. Could you tell us a little more
Yes,
about
of
that?
course. So for I would have to go back a little because I remember that when Tony had come, my um, I had just had a parents teacher meeting with my son's teacher, and she had identified a problem, and the problem was that he was painting trees pink and black, and she was very worried that he's not connected to reality, he's not observant, he's living in a creative bubble of his own, he's daydreaming. And I was like, what's wrong with it? I didn't know if there's anything wrong with it, because one can imagine whatever one likes, right? Especially when you're 6 years old or 5 years old, that's when your imagination, your
Yes,
association, your mind is working at its most active, brilliant self. So instead of, coming back and talking to my child about why he's coloring them black or pink, I started looking up ways of how I can be using that energy and using that imagination to help him learn better at school. And I came up with board games based on multiplication. I came up with how mind maps can be used for learning the two times table, or how colors could be used to highlight different things. So, like you can use color coding to so if nothing else, just grab a bunch of highlighters, and like you can be um, using color coding different things as red, green,
yes,
blue,
yes.
orange. So that sort of, because colors draw the eye. Like Tony used to say, the difference between the moth and the butterfly is just the colors. And nobody chases moths, everybody chases
Listen.
butterflies, everybody finds butterflies to be beautiful. And the only difference is that one is all gray and one is colored. So colors make a whole lot of a difference to children, because the books are all printed in black and white, the books are all um, you know uh, going about in linear lines. You can break that monotony even if you do nothing else. Just grab a bunch of highlighters and highlight different things. So for example, all the facts are green, and all the definitions are yellow, and all the so you create a color code with your child, and you would
Yes.
definitely see a marked difference in performance.
Yes, definitely. And, for teachers, because it's so boring to teach year after year the same thing. So if you learn to use mind maps, and I have one of my clients who is a teacher, math and chemistry teacher, and she's been teaching, she's drawing a mind map on the board, and the kids are drawing their own mind map from that chemistry something. Now she's using it in math as well, and she said, I'm having so much fun
Yes,
during my
yes,
class, and I'm enjoying
because
teaching
teachers
so
also
much.
enjoy it. Teachers
Yes,
also enjoy. a break from, that routine of just going in, giving a lecture, coming out, going in, giving a lecture, coming out every day. And I think that we are our children's champions, be it teachers or mothers or fathers, uh, uncles, aunts. We cannot give up on a child.
Absolutely true. They
And
trust us.
I think, yes, so I don't think that any child deserves to be called a failure unless and until we have given them every chance that we possibly could. And if we do that, there can be no failure in this world or in any child.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's all via playing a game. And if
Yes.
it's playful, everyone can learn it. So it is so, so amazing to have you, and hope that a lot of our viewers will get in touch with you if you guys have any questions towards, children learning, homework, how to get it done efficiently. Saher can help you in that, and definitely with the Zentangling sessions, and that it was just a pure amazement for me. And hope that we can get more and more people doing art and not doing war, doing, living in a playful way, because then we will create playful lives and change the energy around the world. Is there anything you would like to add here in closing to our viewers, to anyone watching us?
I would just recommend that every human being is born with a holistic mind, a whole brain. And I think that nothing is disconnected in this world or this universe for that matter. So if you are a mathematician, if you are a scientist, I don't think that you can choose not to be an artist as well, because a lot of art has to do with science. All the initial studies, all the initial scientists worked with their imaginations because they were not allowed to experiment on human anatomy. So the human anatomy came from their imagination, from what they thought artistically was possible, be it Leonardo da Vinci, be it the classical painters. So a lot of medicine, a lot of science, observation, stars, stargazing, um, optics, everything. If you are studying optics, you have to study art because you have to understand light, balance, perspectives, blah blah blah. So if you're a scientist, if you're a mathematician, you cannot write poetry without the right balance, the right syllables, the right. So so and if similarly, if you're creative, if you're an artist, but you think that you're not a mathematician, please don't downgrade yourself, because you know the angles, you know the perspectives, you know scales, you know proportions, you know a lot about math, which probably mathematicians would not give you credit for, but you do. So never underestimate yourself. Pick up your pen and a normal standard piece of paper. Do not even wait. Okay, you would find some supplies from somewhere, you need some special supplies, you're waiting forever to get to the bookstore to get your stationery. No, pick up a pen with whatever you have in front of you. Just draw your
Yes.
heart out and be happy.
Yes, very interesting. One of my clients said, I started to draw this uh, art of Zentangle or Doodle art on meetings, on meetings, listening to my bosses
Yes,
talking. And, I have a notebook and it's full of drawings. And I started, so anyone can, do that and
anyone
try
can.
this out and have fun during the meeting. If it's too boring to listen to your boss, then you can just doodle art away.
Yes, you can just doodle art, and it would help you remember more than you generally would if you are zoning out doing nothing and just being bored by the meeting. I guess if you, or by the class, if you're in a school or a college, doodle up, keep your brain awake, and it would remember more.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So thank you so much, Saher, for being here. Thank you so much. I hope anyone interested, please take a look at Saher, connect with her, and take this session, because it's really amazing what she can do. She's in the beginning in her teaching career in Zentangle, and I took this session with her, and I said, this is mind blowing, and I want to help her to show this to the world, show this to people, how much you can bring them, because you brought me so much. And I can imagine through this other lady who you worked with, that from children to adults to elderly, you can bring so much of happiness and
Yes.
color into their daily lives, to just break that routine of where they are teaching them something different. So thank you so much again for being here and showing your beautiful art, and the background info to all that. And so anyone has any questions, I see not really, but later on, please take
Yes.
give
You can
us
always
your, please tell me.
you can always send your questions to Dr. Zhu, and I'd be more than glad to help
Yes,
you.
and you can send it here, and then
Yes.
we will look at this video. Actually, sorry, we have comments. Okay. Okay, all right. Can see they were not really relevant. So thank you so much again for being here, and love
Thank
you
you for
all.
having me, Dr. Zhu. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
darling.
much.
Lots of love to all of you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye
Zentangle
bye.
away.
Bye.